prisons in England and Wales have record rapid rise in drones delivering drugs. And we're going to read into this exclusive from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from The Guardian with the headline that prisons in England and Wales have a record rapid rise in drone delivering drugs. The exclusive reveals that tenfold increase in drone instances since 2010 have led MPs to call for urgent action over security concerns. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. This has been a growing trend over the last several years since the rise of drones and the use of them, being used for Amazon deliveries, being used as toys, and now criminals see this as an opportunity of a way to make money, an opportunity of a way of supplying drugs to prisoners. This is an ever-growing problem, and not really enough is being done about this. Now, I've been thinking a bit about like how would you deal with this, like in terms of if you were able to build a prison from scratch, there would be designs where it would make it impossible for drones to be able to deliver. There may be some designs and concepts that you could make for certain prisons, making it near next impossible for drones to deliver drugs to them. However, obviously, before drones as well, they were tried to hand it, people would come visited and whatnot. They would try to hand over or try to smuggle it, some way of smuggling it into prisons, bribing guards and whatnot as ways. But the drone way is because prisons, the way they're designed, they simply just fly over and fly in. I mean, the thing like crosses my mind is just like, my first thought was like, why don't you just shoot them? Like, just shoot the drones. And it's just like, well, that's a very dangerous thing, firing a gun at a drone. You could hurt someone potentially. I'm very curious to see how we tackle this issue, because many of the prison cells that prisoners are in, it's just too easy to pass the drugs over from these drones into the cells. It's just too easy for them, and more needs to be done. And we're talking about a tenfold increase since 2020 as well. So, and we're now in the first year of 2025. So in the last 4 or 5 years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. But we already know that prisons are in a crisis because they were very much near overcrowding. The judicial system was nearly collapsed by the Conservatives as well. So we know that prisons are not being prisons are completely under the threshold right now, and wardens and prison officers are absolutely under immense strain when it comes to this work. They don't get talked about this as well. And this drug trade is obviously only making things worse for these officers, making things more difficult for them. Like how do you get around this issue? It's very, very problematic indeed. So prisons will need more money to combat the rapid rise in drones delivering drugs, the head of the influential Commons Committee has said, as figures show the number of aerial incursions predicted to have tripled in 2 years. So a Freedom of Information request by The Guardian found that there were 1,296 drone incidences at prisons in England and Wales in the 10 months to the end of October 2024, a tenfold increase since 2020. The Labour chair of the Commons Justice Committee, Andy Slaughter, said the figures should set alarm bells ringing about prison security. We wouldn't be having these increases in incidents if the prison service was on top of it. Clearly, they are playing catch-up, he said. It's particularly galling that organised crime and whoever is operating the drones are effectively steps ahead of the people who are supposed to be keeping prisons secure. With an average of about 130 drone incidents a month, the number of incursions is expected to have increased by more than 1,550 at the end of 2024, more than triple the 478 incidences in 2022. And given that many drone deliveries happen at night and under the cover of darkness, the true figure is believed to be far higher. So this is another thing as well. So this is only the figures that they have reported. They could be actually higher, because not everything, they clearly, like, because they do it in the night, and there's no light on the drone, goes in very quietly, puts it into the cell and gets away. There's no reporting of it whatsoever. HM Chief Inspector of Prisons Charlie Taylor said last month that the surge in the use of large unmanned aerial vehicles was his number one concern, and had increased the possibility that firearms would be used to settle turf wars or in attempts to escape. A recent report by Taylor's inspection to HMP Gareth near Leyland in Lancashire said so many drones were flying to the prison at night to deliver contraband to cells windows that an inmate had to compare it to an airport. Wow, like what's being done here? Like, if you're having like 4, 5, 6 drones turning up, and it's just like, what's being done to stop this? The drugs trade in prison is so lucrative that gangs are headhunting highly skilled drone pilots from the non-criminal world to ferry the cargo to sell windows. The more sophisticated drones, worth several £1,000s, are about a metre wide and equipped with thermal imagery, allowing them to transport several kilograms of illicit goods under the cover of darkness. The scale of aerial deliveries continues to grow in 2024, despite laws introduced last January making it a criminal offence to fly drones within 400 metres of any closed prison or young offenders institution in England and Wales. Drone operators that break the rules could be fined up to £2,500, while those found smuggling illicit items face up to 10 years in prison. Now, some prisons have introduced counter-drone technology to detect when unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, are nearby, but few, if any, are thought to actively block the devices from approaching. The crumbling state of many prisons has made it easier to make often brazen deliveries to cells where inmates use broomsticks or other devices to fish in contrabands through easily breached windows. The Cross-Party Commons Justice Committee launched an inquiry last month into tackling drugs in prison, with one area focused the sharp increase in drone deliveries. Slaughter described the incursions as a pretty fundamental breach of security that would need more money to fix. There's going to be a cost to it, whether that cost comes out of the increased maintenance budget or whether it comes from other means, he said. It would be a real shame if you're diverting funds from other things such as rehabilitation, staffing condition and maintenance generally in prisons, because they are in an appalling state. But before you do anything else, you have to make sure that your prisons are secure, and this is going to have to be a priority. Slaughter said these inquiry would examine whether sophisticated technology such as signal blockers would prevent drones from entering prison airspace could be used. Well, why not? Why not? Within a short period of time, we have to find a solution. You do feel that prisons, as so often, are a Cinderella service. If this was an issue, if this was an issue, it would have been. Around an airport or military facility, it would be dealt with, he said. Government spokesperson said the availability of drugs and other illicit items in prisons is evident of the crisis in our prisons that the new government inherited. Blame the Conservatives again. We are working on the police to deter, detect and disrupt the growing illegal use of drones in other prisons. Our crime in prison task force will bear down on drugs in jails further, including tackling serious and organised crime. I mean, I hope so. I mean, why are we not taking ideas, some of the ideas that are used when it comes to dealing with drones, like airports, for example? Do you remember when they were first started? People started popping up drones around airports, and how quickly like the fines and trouble there would have been if they kept doing them, and immediately it stopped because people were like terrified of the severe consequences of it. Like, why are we not taking this? This is something that can be dealt with. That's not being prioritized, is my view. Like, I can see us stopping this. There are ways to do that, and like I said, stopping a no signal is one of many examples that could be used. If they don't have clear answers, then take answers from other nations about how they are dealing with drones. It's as simple as that, you know. And I'm sure some people in the comments will have plenty of ideas of their own about how to deal with these unmanned drone devices coming into prisons and filling up all the prisoners with plenty of drugs, because it's having a massive effect on these prisoners. You know, we talk about wanting to rehabilitate criminals, rehabilitate them and want them to come back out as a different person. Well, that's not happening if they're being kept in the same loop, if they've been kept in the same world. And drugs play a big part of that, and we need to tackle this. It's a big problem and it needs to be dealt with. Not enough is nowhere near being done. It's not just about targeting those who are controlling. It's all well and good targeting the people behind the controller, which I'm sure needs to be done anyway. But we want to stop the drones getting there and being able to drop them off in the prison places in the first place. So what do you guys think? What do you guys make of the situation around the prisons in England and Wales over the rapid rise in drones delivering drugs? Are there much simple solutions? Are there easy solutions? Let me know your thoughts on this and more down in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others notify this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.